Once upon a time, in a very big kingdom of Ezudo, there lived a young girl called Orena, meaning her father's bride. She was 14 years of age when her parents died. Then she started living with her grandmother in her small hut. At the age of 14, Orena could do many things around the house. Her father bought her little chickens while he was alive because Orena loved poultry farming. She would collect the eggs, she would use them and share the remaining with the needy in the village. Orena was indeed a happy and cheerful girl, and her smiles were contagious. Orena and her grandmother lived a very peaceful life and they enjoyed it. Orena had never liked going out. She prefers to spend her time in her home garden, tend to her chickens, and trying out new recipes. She and her grandmother never had problems with their necessities because her uncle Chimezie from the city usually brought them things. Chimezie wanted Orena to go with him, but she insisted on staying with her grandmother to help her around the house. There's this very big mansion close to their house. She had always wondered who stayed there. She had never seen anyone go in or out of the mansion. She asked her grandmother about the occupants of the house, and she said,
Then rich people that lived there rarely comes back. They only visit only once in a while.
at about the time when Urena was 15, she saw some people dressed in really expensive clothes. They looked like royalty. They were going into the mansion. It seemed the people that lived there are back, she said to her grandmother. She saw a beautiful woman that should be in her 40s, a young boy that should be around her age, and a young girl that looks thin, and some servants going into the mansion. Urena then thought that it would be nice if she baked some cookies to welcome them home. The next day, she took the cookies to the house. When she knocked, the servant opened the door for her. Please, can I come in? I come bearing gifts. The maid asked her to wait so she would inform her madam. Few minutes later, the maid came back telling her to come inside. She went inside and was surprised at what she saw. The house was beautiful. She never knew they had beautiful houses like this in their village. She introduced herself to the woman as Orena while she was still standing. You're welcome home, ma, and this is my welcome gift to you, she said, giving her the baked cookies. The woman introduced herself as Ifedima and told her to sit. She thanked Orena for the gift. Then she said, I am tired of always moving back and forth every time. I told my husband that I would like to relocate back here for good. It's really nice to meet you, dear. You are such a lovely young girl, she said. And Urena replied, It's a pleasure to meet you, Lolo. Lolo, Ifedima said. I like it, thank you. So where are your parents? Ifedima asked. A cloud of sadness covered her face, and she said, I'm an orphan. I live with my grandmother. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, my dear. You should meet my children, she said, changing the subject, not liking the look of sadness on Urena's face. She told the maid to call on her children. The girl came first. and Ifedima introduced her as Ebele, her youngest child. And soon the boy came, and she introduced him as Makwo, her eldest son. Ebele smiled and greeted Orena, while Makwo stared at her from her head to her toe, assessing her appearance. Then he said to his mother, "Who is this stranger, and why would you let her into our house? Makwo, behave yourself and be nice to Orena." Orena brought her hand for a handshake, but Makwo said, "I'm sorry, Orena, but I don't shake dirty strangers." Immediately, Orena took her hands as she was embarrassed. She was not dirty, only that she didn't have expensive clothes. Ifedima then said, "Forgive him, Orena. I think he is still angry about our relocation." After some time with them, Orena bid them farewell and went back to her house. The next morning, Orena had so many eggs in her poultry. She divided it into two equal halves and took one part to the Chukwuma's family. When she arrived there, she knocked on the door. It was Makwo that came out. She smiled and greeted him. "I got these from my farm and thought it would be nice to bring some. Please greet your mom for me." Makwo did not say anything. He just stared at her, and it was awkward, so she left. She would always bring eggs to the Chukwuma's family, and it surprised her that each time she brought eggs or any gift item, it was Makwo that came to receive them. Sometimes she would go there to spend time with Ifedima and Ebele. One day, Ifedima gifted Orena a beautiful red dress that fitted her like a glove, and Orena thanked her for it. She was so excited. She hadn't gotten anything this beautiful in a long while. Ifedima told Orena that they would be going out during the weekend, and she would like Orena to go with them. And Orena was so happy. By weekend, she prepared everything her grandmother would need and told her that she would be going out with the Chukwuma's family. Then she left. They went to have lunch at a very big eatery. Throughout the time, Makwo was just giving her weird looks, and she wondered why, since they had never had a conversation before, and it was obvious that he didn't like her. And that was something that bothered her, because she had never done anything wrong to him before. Ifedima was so happy that Orena was spending the day with them. Orena indeed had a nice time, and she expressed her gratitude to Ifedima for her kindness. It's been 6 months since Ifedima and her family started living in the village. Her husband only visited once in a while. One evening, one of Orena's chicken didn't return home, so she went in search for it. She checked in the small bushes around but couldn't find it. She then drifted a little towards the bush that was behind the Chukwuma's mansion. There she saw something that shook her. She stood as if a cold bucket of water was poured on her. She saw so many eggshells, and some of them were still fresh. She saw cookies she usually gives to the Chukwuma's family. They were all thrown in the back of the house. She knew for the fact that they do not throw garbage behind their house. She felt hot tears stream down her cheeks. She knew the culprit, Makwo. He has to be the one, she said. Not long, Makwo was walking towards her. When Orena turned and noticed it was him, she waited until he got close to her and then she slapped him. Makwo was shocked and didn't reply immediately. What wrong did I ever do to you to hate me this much? You have hated me from the first day and I was fine with it. You saw me as dirty even when I was not, and I was okay with it. Are you a bitter person or you are still angry about moving here? Was I the reason you moved back, Makwo? That you will do something so wicked to me? She gestured toward the broken eggshells. If you didn't want my gift, you would have told me, and I would have taken it back and given it to those that wanted them. But no, you choose to throw it away and thought no one would know. But guess what? Your secret is out. I hate you, Makwo. I hate you so much, Orena said angrily. Then she stomped away, leaving Makwo to regret his actions. Makwo himself was speechless. When he saw Orena cry, all he wanted to do was hold her and comfort her. But as she said, she hated him and he didn't like it. He felt as though a knife was pierced through his heart. From that day, Orena kept her distance. She only came to Ifedima's house if she insisted. Whenever she would see Makwo looking at her, her face turned into that of disgust and hate. This continued until Orena turned 20. Not long after her 20th birthday, her grandmother died. Orena had to go stay with her uncle in the city after her grandma's funeral. Orena bid farewell to Ifedima and Ebele. But when she turned to Makwo, there was a look of longing in his eyes, but she refused to fall for it. Soon, Orena lived in the city and she settled well. Her uncle Chimezie asked her what she would like to do. Orena loves baking, so she chose to master the art of catering. After 3 years, she now has her own place and is doing well in her business. A young woman was sitting down when she noticed a young man dressed so elegantly walking towards the table so he could order something. So she went to attend to him. And that young man is Makwo. When Makwo saw the young woman, a look of recognition crossed his face. Orena, Makwo called. I don't know what you're talking about, she said. Really? You are not Orena? So who are you? Makwo replied. Oh, I am Mmadiya, but people call me Mma for short. Makwo couldn't believe that she was not Orena. They have a striking resemblance to each other. So if she isn't Orena, who is she? Makwo thought. Please stay tuned for the part 2 of this story. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment and share. See you in our next video. Bye.